Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's 24th of July, Monday, and Great British Pound US dollar. And I've just took some short positions. Took one in Frankfurt and a couple in London Open. This is my London Open screenshot, so you can have a quick look. I'll put both of them in the Discord anyway, so you can see. But basically, we got short from up here, having took out this poor high, which is where I got short from earlier on, which was somewhere around about here. And I took profits, if you remember, back at Vwap to play it safe. Then we got the London Open where we cleared this poor high, did the stop run out of prior day's value, liquidity grab, whatever you want to call it. And I'll show you the weekly in a minute as well, into an area of interest, which is where I did my short positions. And then I took everything out, so both positions out here for about 60 pips combined back at the other side of the deviation bands, which if we look at now, looks like that was a wise move. I'll get rid of this screenshot now, because you can see we're now starting to reject from those deviation bands. You can see here. So let's get into it. We'll start off with a weekly, actually. So you can see, let's just open up today's profile. Get a bit bigger for you. All right, so last week's profile. Today we opened up at this ledge on this high volume node, auctioned up in Asia, coming to Frankfurt Open. Those three TPO blocks there, you can see that was forming a poor high and was providing just shy of this value area. Was providing a poor high, a bit of resistance there. In Frankfurt, I decided I would short that for a scalp back to Vwap. It was only ever going to be a scalp because I fully expected that poor high to be took out. And it's quite obvious it's going to be, especially when it's just literally a few pips before this value area. It's just being manipulated, the price, to get in some sellers early to have their stops took out. So I knew I was joining that band of sellers, but I knew that I'd need to get out early so I can get my profits locked in. So that was what the weekly looked like. So that was going to be my main area of interest. This area here, there's a poor low just above it there as well. So that was going to be a possible sell area. Let's get rid of the weekly now. We don't need that anymore. Right, so the daily, we can see this was that poor high there, and we opened here, which was this structure point here. I think I drew out a box there actually in my other trade screenshot, which I put in the Discord. So that was my initial area of interest, which I faded back to Vwap for safe 10 pips. I then said about the poor high in the Discord, and we came then back up, took out this poor high, did the liquidity grab above prior day's value into that value area low on the weekly, what I just showed you. And I bet this is at a level as well. It's probably at a structure point. Let's have a little look. Yeah. Let's pull that out for you. So we had the weekly confluence of that value area. The stop run on the daily we could see out of prior day's value into the weekly value, having repaired that poor high and took the liquidity where it was sitting above that. Obviously, we're at the deviation band extremes, which is what I like to see. I always find it a safer bet trading from the deviation band extremes rather than what I like to call no man's land, although there's obviously the one standard deviation bands there, which is a developing value, but that doesn't interest me quite so much by the way I trade. And we also, on the footprint, Can't remember what time frame I was looking at on the footprint, because as you all know that followed me for a while, I like to flick through my time frames. But what we're on at the moment, 3 minutes here. Let's go back to Frankfurt. Might have been what I was looking at. Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah, so Frankfurt, I was seeing coming into Frankfurt, that little burst of energy up, increased buy side delta, and then Frankfurt open, you can see we tried again with the buyers trying to pump price up with a high buy side delta, but failing. Then when we had a bit of a kind of indecision candle and it closing negative. So despite high buying, that little candle there couldn't push price, buyers couldn't push price higher. So I've then got my short fade back towards Vwap for 10 pips on that Frankfurt. You can then see on the 7-minute chart, buying imbalances coming into London open. That liquidity grab, you know, increasing volume, increasing buy side delta. The point of control is within that little selling tail there, finished auction. I'm just reading this off the cuff as what I'm seeing. Sellers starting to step in there. Could be some that 130 there. That could be trap buyers, or that could be limit orders on take profits on investors getting long. We then got the delta flip, again volume traded down into this imbalance, slight pullback, continuation. Let's have a little quick look off 3 minute. And there's the 3 minute look. Buying, set Asia highs. Or no, that's not set Asia highs. That's my initial balance high. That's a custom setting. I call it Asia highs, but it's not quite. It's a different setting. What I have, I like to do things a little bit different. So high buying to set that initial balance high, and then we've got that indecision candle there, finished auction as I said anyway, and then the delta flip, and off we go. I took profits in both my positions down here at the other side of those deviation bands. We then, as you saw, got to pull back up to VWAP by the looks of it, and now we might continue lower. I think I did see a single print fill. Let me just, so that's the footprint. Let me just quickly show you, yeah, single print on the custom morning chart, which you wouldn't see on the daily chart, see? But the morning chart, we've got this single print here. So we've got imbalance there. We come up, filled that imbalance, and now it could be trading lower. Low volume node there. So that's what it looked like today, this morning's trades. So yeah, 2 positions, 60 pips on that. And then my Frankfurt position was 1 position for 10 pips. And that's going to be it for me today, I think. I've got other plans this afternoon. Well, I say I've got other plans. The missus has got other plans for me. So I don't think I'm going to get an opportunity to get on the charts. But yeah, hope you have a good day. We've got red folder news in half an hour at 9:30 for Great British Pound. So we might see a bit of a movement again in price there. But for now, I'm going to sign off and say have a good day, and I'll catch you on the next video, possibly tomorrow. Right, nice one. Cheers, guys. Over and out.